I'm RJ Aguiar, and this is Rebel Report, the show that can only get it up if Nancy Grace is yelling at the screen.
If you want to qualify for a home, then why don't you just not smoke pot?
Oh yeah, tell me how disgusted you are. So this Monday is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, or as most people refer to it, woohoo, long weekend. But let's face facts. Race relations in this country are almost as big of a clusterfuck now as they were back when Dr. King was alive. So I feel like it's time that we treated MLK Day as more than just a bunch of doorbuster deals at JCPenney, or an extra day to nurse your Sunday Funday hangover. This year I say let's honor Dr. King with just one day of peace. Just one. Is that so much to ask for? I mean, everybody loves Dr. King, right?
Will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood? I have a dream.
And I'll bet my left arm that everyone out there in the internet world is sick of logging onto Facebook and reading about yet another act of senseless violence. Mike Brown, Eric Gardner, Tamir Rice. Come on, guys! So how about this Monday we take a break from all the shooting and all the strangling and enjoy something that people actually like. And I hate to say this, but the truce has to start with our boys and girls in blue. Don't believe me? You think the examples that I listed earlier are just isolated incidents that were hyped up by the media? Well, there are a bunch of other victims whose names you've likely never heard. Like Andy Lopez, a 13-year-old from Santa Rosa, California, who loved basketball and playing the trumpet. He was shot 7 times by a cop who mistook his pellet gun for an AK-47. Alex Nieto, a 28-year-old Buddhist student from San Francisco. He was on full scholarship with plans to become a probation officer. That didn't stop police from shooting him 14 times, despite the fact that, according to eyewitnesses, all he was doing was just sitting there and eating a burrito. David Sal Silva, a 33-year-old father of 4 from Bakersfield, California. 7 officers hogtied him and then beat him with batons. He then died in the hospital shortly thereafter. Are you starting to notice a pattern? If not, let me illustrate it for you. 1, they're all Hispanic. 2, they were all killed by law enforcement. 3, all of their killers were acquitted. 4, almost no one has heard of them, much less made a fuss about their deaths. The internet was more collectively outraged that Calvin Klein photoshopped Justin Bieber. Oh my god, they made his chest, arms, and bulge bigger. They've done that to every pair of boobs that's ever graced a magazine cover in the past 4 decades. Priorities, people. The simple facts are, in the United States, a black person dies at the hands of law enforcement once every 28 hours. They are demographically overrepresented in police shootings in just about every major city. So yeah, this outrage is understandable. Meanwhile, Hispanics are the fastest growing minority when it comes to being victims of police violence. Yay! And that doesn't count the undocumented immigrants that die at the hands of the US Border Patrol, who rack up an annual body count that would put any other law enforcement agency to shame. But RJ, what about the cops that get killed? Okay, well, let's not forget the fact that one of those NYPD officers who was shot in the head execution style was a Latino. The problem isn't necessarily with law enforcement, it's with our system of institutionalized violence. And that all begins when law enforcement chooses to treat average citizens as potentially dangerous enemies. Come on, guys, this is not Syria, or North Korea, or Iran, or Libya, or... you get the idea. To bring it all back to Dr. King, he is the one who said, "Today it is no longer a choice between violence and non-violence. It is either non-violence or non-existence." He also said that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. These aren't just quotes that you can shove in your profile to sound deep. They are messages that have only gotten more relevant and more vital since those historic marches in Selma and in DC. I don't care what color you are. Everyone has the right to feel safe and protected. And that simply cannot happen if we cannot trust the people whose job it is to protect us. Man, that was a heavy episode. I, for one, am pretty emotionally exhausted. But hey, we've got a little bit of extra time, so how about we go back to this? That does it for this week. Be sure to follow us and like us. And starting now, you can also check us out on Flama's YouTube channel every week. Also, be sure to join the conversation on Twitter using the hashtag Rebel Report. We will be keeping an eye out and interacting with you guys all week long. Till then, see you guys next week. I'm RJ Aguiar, and I approve this message.